Sorry about that. Hi, welcome back to Sniper Gains. My name is Ian. I am a CRT trader who specializes in using the CRT model on tickers such as NQ, ES, gold, copper, and on rare occasions, silver. So let's take a look at what happened last night. If you take a look over here, let me go here, one sec. You'll see we took a hit of $103.47. This is because we went for a 6J trade. It was a counter trend move that unfortunately didn't work out. If you want to see the stream, check out the Asia session stream for October the 21st. You can take a look at it in my Asia session playlist. Now, with that being said, because we took a hit of this, we have to make sure that we do not surpass $400 in terms of risk being used for this day. So if we take a look at the performance stats, we have a loss of $103.47. The goal is to see if I can take one or two more trades to change this red color into a green profitable day, ideally a $200 profitable day. So if we're going to be going into the market, whatever we are going to choose, we need to make sure it targets at least about a 350 in profit potential, even after the fees have been taken out. So ideally maybe a 360, 370, so we can at least close the day green for 200, so it can count as a winning day. So with that being said, what we're going to have to do is we're going to dive into the market. I'm going to analyze a few stocks that I see that may have a potential to fit the CRT model playbook. So here we go. Now we're going to take this out. Now in the background, you'll most likely start to hear some background noise because there is a school band pretty far from here, but you might hear some random drums in the background. I can't really control that. I'm just going to do my best to make sure that the audio is still clear, but we should be good. And I want to confirm that we're still streaming. So that's good. And this should be the London session stream. Perfect. Okay, let's get into the content. So we're going to go through our list. First one up, this was NQ. You'll see I've labeled it as a consolidation trap. So technically, it's above the 50 EMA, which is good. But then when it comes to the SAR dots, they're going back and forth, back and forth. Whenever I see something like this, I stay away from it because that's what I consider a consolidation trap. So I'm just going to stay away from this. Same thing with ES, all right? Now, if we take a look at 6J, which is what I took today, I initially had entered right here. So let's zoom in. Let's use the replay tool. I'm going to start new. So this is what I meant with it being a counter trend trade. These little dots that you see here represent bullish momentum because they're below the hourly candles. But this is the 50 EMA, which means there's a general bearish directional bias. I chose to use the SAR dots to essentially bet I could go against this larger directional bias. And I took a counter trend trade. So when I did it, it came in. Let's go here. It filled my gap, but unfortunately, it struggled and then dropped down to continue going down in its overall bearish directional bias. So with that being said, with the next trades that I'm going to be focused on this week, I'm going to have to stay away from counter trend trades and stick to A+ textbook trades where the 50 EMA and the 1 hour the SAR dots, so the parabolic SAR dots are in alignment with each other. So that's what I'm going to focus on for right now. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep looking at my list. So we don't have any plays on the equity side. We don't have any plays on the currency side, because here on 6J, it's still saying it wants to go up, but it's still below the 50 EMA. So this gets kind of a little bit tricky whenever I try to trade the CRT model in these kind of opposing, whenever they're opposing against each other. It always flows much better when both of these are in alignment. Speaking of alignment, we're going to look at GC. So GC is setting up to looking pretty saucy. Now, if you take a look, we're below the 50 EMA, so we have a bearish directional bias, and we have the bearish SAR dots, which are above. Plus, you have the benefit of there's a huge distance between the hourly candle and the parabolic SAR. So there is a good chance that the momentum will keep going down. Now, what I'm waiting for, sorry, I had to kind of adjust a little bit, is I want this candle that's forming right now to sweep the 7 a.m. candle. Now, the good news is we don't have any red folder news events, so I feel more comfortable trading into the New York session because there's no red folder news. So it's about to take out the 7 a.m. accumulation candle. So with that being said, we're going to jump into Topstep, and I'm going to look at it on the MGC. So here we go. I'm going to go to chart. I'm going to type in MGC. The reason why I'm looking at MGC is the micro version of this trade. And the reason why that's important is if we take a look at my TradeZella journal. So if I go to my notebook, you'll see that initially when I started, technically yesterday, my initial balance was $4,056.71, which means using my 10% rule, whenever I'm above 4,000, I can only risk a maximum of $400, and that's including fees and commission. I took one trade on 6J. I lost that trade at 103. This basically means right now I only have a working balance of, sorry, 1 second here. I only have a working balance of $296.53. So to kind of work within this remaining amount, it makes more sense for me to go micros, and then I can kind of stack the contracts if there's an opening. So we're going to go back, and now we are going to start to do the setup. So it has already officially swept. We're at 7:30 right now. I'm going to draw my rectangle box. So this right here represents 7 a.m. accumulation hour. This right here is going to be the 8 a.m. manipulation hour. So I'm going to go draw my vertical line, draw my vertical line again. And then we are just mainly going to focus and see if there is an opening. So I'll move to the 5-minute time frame. And in this 5-minute time frame, I just want to see a bearish 5-minute fair value gap form by 855. And I would ideally want it to close inside of this range. If I see those two combos paired with the 50 EMA being bearish and paired with the bearish SAR dots, we might have a good trade setup. So I'm going to keep this up. If it does sweep over here and we do get a setup, we're going to always target the bottom. So this right here represents a high level of liquidity when it comes to buy stops. And then over here, a high level of sell stops for people who are trying to go long. My anticipation based on my analysis, based on the 50 EMA and the bearish SAR dots, is that it will continue this bearish downward trend. But I need to see a 5-minute fair value gap form before 855. So we're going to keep a good eye on this. And I'm also going to be doing some calculations real quick. So we're going to move that here. And give me 1 second. I just want to confirm that the audio is good. So I'm going to check over here. No, I don't need to confirm anything. This thing is good. I already checked it. So let's just go over here. And we're going to be looking just to see what happens. So ideally, I want to get at least a 2R trade. If it presents to me a fair value gap situation where it's less than 2R, I will use a late entry that is modified to at least get me a 2R trade. So that's the goal if this does present itself to being a good setup. So we're just going to wait on it and see if we can capture any good saucy trades. So we're going to keep an eye on it. It's 7:32. Also, you'll notice that on this side, I'm going to draw a box. This is going to be very helpful to help me to visually identify that 5-minute fair value gap, which I can use as an entry to target the bottom. But we'll see what happens. Okay, so we're taking a look at this candle. You will see that it is pushing price up. So ideally, we're on 835 candle. As it's forming, what I want to make sure is that the fair value gap needs to form by 855. So the 845 candle, 850 candle, and 855 candle have to do two important things. It needs to form the fair value gap. And secondly, it needs to close inside of the range for it to be an official bearish 1 hour CRT setup. I am seeing a little bit of resistance coming in. So I'm definitely eyeing it to see if it does give us an opening. Sometimes it might, sometimes it might not. We will see. I'm also going to be eyeing the other metals as well. Right now with HG, it has swept, but the problem is it has the solid dots right underneath it. It will most likely drop, but because we're trying to be conservative and just following the playbook, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold off on HG. I'm going to take a look at SI. SI is also kind of doing the same thing. But it seems like it's going to be pretty strong on SI. So I'm mainly focusing right now on gold. Gold seems to be the setup at the moment, but we'll see if it will close underneath. If it doesn't, no problem. We can always move it to the next hour. So that's the key thing. We just want to follow the playbook. Nothing too crazy, but we will keep an eye on this formation right about here. Now, let's say hypothetically it were to at this moment in time, hypothetically, not yet. Let's see what it does. One sec. Okay, so it keeps pushing. So it keeps pushing past the 830 candle. I want to see if it will close inside of the range and form that fair value gap. So it could be a good setup, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so we're now at the 840 candle. When it hits the 845 to 850, that's when I really want to pay attention to see if there's any opportunity or not for this specific hour, which would have been the 7 a.m. accumulation hour. So the goal is, or what I am anticipating is, price will go up, sweep, form a bearish fair value gap that I can enter on to target the bottom. So we haven't yet set it because it's still in the process and it might still keep going for a little bit of time. So we have to wait it out. So that's what we're going to do. Just going to keep waiting. Okay, we're taking a look at this candle that's forming right about here. It's still pushing, but it hasn't pushed with enough strength yet. So we just want to keep an eye on it, see what it does. We're at about 8:42. We have 3 more minutes until we have, what do you call it? We're at around 8:42. So ideally what I'm trying to see is if this candle right here is going to start to push inside of this box. So if it pushes inside of this box, it would help with confirming this bearish CRT setup, but it's still moving up. So we just have to wait on our hands and see. Okay, we're going to take a look, see if it will close inside of this box by 8:55. Okay, 2 more minutes until 8:45. So based on what I'm seeing that this candle is really struggling to go up. But this is still gold. Gold has this superpower to just rip through price. So I have to just be patient enough to wait. Okay, 1 more minute until 8:45. So the reason why I'm emphasizing 8:45 quite a lot is that at 8:45, from 8:45, 8:50, 8:55, we would need to see that bearish fair value gap. That's requirement number 1. And requirement number 2 is it would have to at least close inside of the box for me to officially accept it as a good, valid, bearish CRT setup that I can take advantage of. If it doesn't do that, then there's no trade yet. So we want to keep an eye on it. Let's see here. Okay, so that's a little bit of a good sign. 840 is starting to go inside of the box. That's good. Now let's see if price can start to move downwards. Now, what you'll see me doing right now is I'm starting to adjust my take profit to kind of get an idea of how many R's I can get from this trade if it's successful. So we'll keep an eye on this. Definitely keep an eye on this, see what we're working with. Okay, this is the target right here. And we're just keeping an eye on gold just to see what it's doing. So right now it's 8:45. We're going to eye 8:50 to see if we start to see a good, a bearish displacement. Ideally, we'd want to have a big one, but it doesn't really matter for this strategy. It just has to have that 5-minute bearish fair value gap form by that 8:55 candle printing, because that would mean it would have formed within this manipulation hour that I've marked out with the 2 vertical lines. So this is the 7 a.m. accumulation hour. This would be the 8 to 9 a.m. manipulation hour. And then the rest of this is known as the distribution hours, which could be maybe 1, 2, or 3 hours. On average, my trades take about 1 to about like maybe 2 hours sometimes. So we'll see what happens. It all depends on the next following candles. Okay, so as we're looking at the 845 right now, it's starting to move upwards. So that's a little concerning because ideally I'd want that 845 candle to close inside and then form that bearish fair value gap. But again, this is gold. Gold can do whatever it wants, so we have to be aware of that. As gold is doing its thing, I'm going to be taking a look at the other tickers, see how they're doing. Okay, so HG still is in a weird position where I can't really take a trade yet. SI still shows the bearish sort of dots. It is also below the 50 EMA. I'm looking to see if it also has an opening or no. I'm not seeing an opening on silver. And I'm not yet seeing an opening on gold. So this might be a situation where we'll have to move to the next hour, which is cool. Let's take a look at NQ. NQ is still stuck in the consolidation trap. So basically it's just ping-ponging back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So in this condition, I'm not going to take a trade. I'm just going to set an alert though, just to see if it will break to the downside. Or even break to the upside, but I'm anticipating hopefully it'll go downwards. But we'll see. We'll just keep that over here. 6J is now officially starting to open up. So maybe this might be a redemption for 6J, who knows? So let's see. Because right now it's official. It has the Sir dot. And it is forming this bearish hourly candle. So we'll see what happens in the next few hours. Ideally, I'm trying to see if I can catch a good trade before I gotta go to work. So let's keep checking it out. Let's focus back on GC. Ooh, okay. I like that. I like that. So now it's starting to form a very nice fair value gap. Okay, that's good. So now when it's starting to do its thing, I need to start running numbers. Okay, so this is $91. So 91 is the risk. I feel comfortable risking 91 bucks on this trade because I don't want to necessarily over risk. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to go here. So in the meantime, this is 850. Try to see if it will at least leave a bearish fair value gap. That's why I'm drawing this box right here. There we go. Now, the only thing is this. It has officially swept here, right? Let me go on full screen. Full screen. Okay. It's going to be our focus right now. So, it has officially created this, well, it's in the time, it is forming this bearish fair value gap, which is good. We are anticipating that it's going to be at 3.31. This is 95 bucks, so 95 bucks. So I got to do my calculations, 95 bucks for one contract, and one contract on GC. If I can pull that up real quick, one sec. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. GC, Control F, GC, or MGC is $1.24. So that's not bad because I can't put two of them because I would be like over by a lot. I usually don't want to over risk just to over risk. So 124 would be the fees for one micro contract. Okay. And that's what I'm willing to risk because if we play our cards right, it would walk out with $31.40. So $314. $314 minus 103.47 is 210.53. That would still count technically. But the way this thing is moving, let's see if I were to put 95, because I'm basically trying to make sure I don't go over. So okay, 180. Let's just say I took a loss of 180. 180, 103.47, 283.47. It is recoverable. But if I were to do 180 times 3, that would be 540, gives us a healthy amount for the week. I'm going to take a little chance on this one just because it does look like a clean setup to go, what do they call it? Ooh, and it's about to go time. So 95. So 95 times 2 is 190 plus 1.24 plus 1.24 is 192.48. So 192.48. 192.48 for both 2 micros. And 192.48 plus 103.47 is 295.95. I would be maxed out for the day if I'm wrong. So, okay, cool. I'm willing to do that on this setup. So let's see what happens. All right, I just had to make sure that was on. Oh, shoot. All right. I think it might hit my target before I can enter, which would kind of suck, but let's make sure we have a limit sell of 2. Now, the key thing is if price is aggressive and it does go all the way down and hits this target before I can enter, then that basically means the play is over and I would have to look for another setup. So hopefully it will tag me in, but with gold, this thing can move pretty hard. So when that happens, I will be looking to see if SI may give me an entry too, because SI sometimes will closely follow the movement of gold. So I have to be aware of that. That's why I have it just as a backup, just in case gold is too aggressive and does not give me an entry. I can at least try to go with that. Now with SI, it's a little bit different because it has a different risk altogether. So I have to run my numbers on trading view first, and it still has to close inside of the range. That's the one key thing. If it does, that's awesome. I'm going to look over here. I'm going to draw a little box. And then we're going to see where it's supposed to target. Here, short. Okay, that's short. When we go long. So that would also be a 3R trade. Just does give me a little bit of an opening just in case gold does hit my target before I can. Because sometimes, the way gold is moving, it's moving with a lot of motion. Let's put it that way. So here it is. If I were to do a sell on this, it would be a risk of 150 and then a 535. So I could risk at least 1 micro contract. So 1 micro contract on that. So with it, I would hopefully want it to close here. So just in case I have this on deck, I'm also going to open up another window and have SIL on deck as well. So I'm going to type in SIL for micro silver, same play, just a different look. That's all. I feel that it should close inside of the range. We have about 4 minutes. So I have to kind of do this as quickly as I can. And essentially what I'm anticipating is hopefully one of them will get me a good entry. So you see how it's starting to close in. I'm going to go to 5 minute. And over here, I'm just going to go here, draw my box, and set it in a way where if one hits or tags me in, awesome. I would set this one for 1 micro contract. So 1 micro contract is about 150 plus the, like, I think it's like 204 on the trade. If I go to my past trades, SIL, for what was one? Okay, 204. So that would be the risk overall. So this one would be also pretty good. 204. That's fine. I will try to see which one is which. Try to see if this one is going to close. This one is coming up. So we're going to focus on these two specifically. Let me move that. Let me get that out of the way. And then keep that on and keep this off. Okay, so this is SIL. That's the bearish fair value gap. So let me actually set also an entry on that. So this is going to be limit sell right over there. And then I have a two limit sells on this side. So just in case that this one hits this target before I can, then, you know, I can just simply default to the SIL and see if I can catch a trade there. Because SIL sometimes will have a delayed movement based on gold's movement. That's what I've noticed. So I'm just going to keep it on the side, because when gold is going bearish and SIL is going bearish, like where they are not inversing each other, but they're actually flowing with each other, that is something that I personally like. So I'm going to keep an eye on this, and I'm also going to keep an eye on SIL. I'm going to keep an eye on SIL. Let me make sure it closes, because it has to close officially. 1 second on that. Close, because if it doesn't close, it's a little bit of a problem on SIL, because that's important. It has to close. So right now it is 7:50. It's 8:59. So if it's 8:59 right now, I need this thing to close here, because at least with GC, it's going to close inside of the range, and that's important. But with SIL, it's fighting, and one thing is it has to close here before I can officially count it. So for the record, SIL didn't, so it's pumping up. So thank goodness we didn't take that. See that? So SIL, oh shoot. Let me focus in on gold. Let's see. Oh man, I think gold is golden. Ah, oh, damn it. Yeah, it's going to stop me out, guys. Order filled. Shoot. Well, that ends the stream. Oh my gosh. I really didn't think it would do that today. Okay. I guess today was just not the day. I thought for sure that it wouldn't stop me out. I thought it would go and then push all the way down, but gold, for some reason, is pumping up. I don't know why, but yeah, that was an official loss. Okay. Man. I don't know what's going on, guys, but yeah, that was a loss. So pretty much what I was anticipating is it would form this bearish fair value gap. It did close inside, but even though it closed, it did go and take me out. I'm hoping that it's actually trying to go upwards, because now I'm at 300, which is more than I would have wanted to take on in terms of a loss. Give me a minute. Let me try to see what's happening here. Okay, because gold did close officially. It closed officially. It had the bearish fair value gap. It had all the confluences I needed to see. It's just for some odd reason, it refused to go down. So that sucks. And now I'm at 300. So I'm wondering what I should do now. Maybe I should pause and wait for the next trade, or I can just wait and see. I am kind of surprised that it went so quickly because there isn't any news. There shouldn't be any news. I checked. Let me check. Yeah, there's no news. So I don't know why it just jumped up so hard. That's so weird. But it is what it is. It is a loss. So I'll have to take that hit. I'm just trying to understand where that one came from. That influx of orders came through from. So yeah, I think at this moment in time, we'll just have to chalk it up as a loss. And let's just see what the next one will show. Oh man, I wish I had undersized on that. I thought for sure with a nice setup, it would just be a tap and push. But I didn't anticipate it would go and just reverse in that manner. That I couldn't have anticipated. But it's all good. I'll have to just keep an eye on the market, see if there's anything. So that would be trade number 2 at a loss on the day. So we're officially down negative for the week. So that's going to be minus 32.23. If there is another trade, I have to make sure it's less than 400. So it's at 300. I'll check and see if there is a setup. If there isn't any setup, then we'll just wait until the evening and see if we can catch another good setup. So let's just see. Let's just see what happens next. Okay. I want to take a look and see if there's any important news that could have affected it, because I checked on Forex Factory to see if there's anything. Okay, Netflix slides on earning miss. Stock futures have little changed. Gold and related stocks are falling for a second day. The metal is 8% off from its high. That's why I was trying to short. I was thinking, hey, man, it should go down. But, oh, man. Gold, bro. Gold. Why? Why? Oh, man, that sucks. It's kind of frustrating. Okay, so that happened. Let me see if there are any other setups I can take that make sense. So at this moment in time, we'll see if there's another opportunity. If there's no opportunity, by the time I have to get going to work, I'll just have to close the day for a loss. It sucks. But what I have to do is I have to stick to my risk management rules. So I will admit that gold trade, I'm really surprised that it just shot up like that. I felt like it would at least kind of battle it a little bit, before shooting up like this. But apparently there was a lot of volume that just came in out of nowhere. So, all right, it is what it is. But yeah, now gold is deciding to pump. Unfortunately, I can't trade bullishly just because we are underneath the 50 EMA and the bearish dots are still well above it. We'll see if it will give us one more shorting opportunity. If it does, great. If not, we'll just have to wait until the Asia session. So, man, that sucks so much. It sucks. Okay. While this is going on, so that way I'm at least catching up with my trading journal, I'm at least going to work on my 6J trade that I took earlier this morning, which resulted in a loss. We'll take a look at it, see what I was thinking and what happened. So first things first, we're going to go to TradeZella. We are going to go and we're going to go to 6J. So over here, I have my template from the bullish 1 hour CRT. Ooh, I'm not supposed to pick that one. Actually, no, it is the right one. It is the bullish 1 hour trade. So we're going to kind of go through the template, kind of, I guess in a sense, review the trade. So first things first is I'll go to the original trade. It is this one right here. We had the 9 a.m. accumulation hour. So with TradingView, if you have the essentials package or higher, you can go here and then we can kind of review everything we did in the past. So this is the 9 a.m. accumulation hour. So I'm going to draw a vertical line. 9 a.m. accumulation hour. EST. Go like that. So it was able to close inside of the box. So that means that this was a bullish CRT setup, but it was also at the same time counter trend. So I'm also going to put that in the box as well. Counter trend setup. Okay, so counter trend setup. Next thing, we're going to label right here. This is the 50 EMA. So I'm going to go and type in the 50 EMA. See, horizontal line. Any 1 hour candle below the 50 EMA is it equals bearish directional bias. So I'm going to click OK. Oh, there we go. So whenever I have this, I'll take a photo of this. This is going to be part 1. So I'm going to use snipping tool. Okay, I'm going to take that and we are going to go over here to part 1 of the directional bias. Print out that photo. And the cool thing about these, whenever you put a photo like this, is that if you right click and you open image in new tab, you can be able to see the full image in a way where you can zoom in and see all the little details. So that's part 1. Part 2 is I need to take a photo of the play on the 5-minute time frame. So I'm going to delete this one. And we're going to go to 6J. Yeah. We're going to go to 6J. Go to Topstep. Let's see. Go to 6J. And then we're going to talk about, we're going to label where we entered and where we exited. So we're going to go here. Move this one here. Okay, so we're going to type in our entry. And our entry was right here. So let's zoom in. And then over here on the paintbrush tool, we can be able to label the candle. So we're going to go here. And then next one is we're going to write an exit, but the exit was now going to be in red to signify that it was a loss. It helps me to visually know real quick if that was a win or a loss. So here I will bump it up to about 20. Okay, so with that being said, we'll put it on full screen. This is the entry, this is the exit. So we'll take a photo to kind of show what it looks like on the 5-minute time frame. So we're going to do this, control, print screen. Then we're going to go to our journal and we're gonna paste it. Bam. So we're gonna go over the rules. Make sure the 1 hour accumulation hourly candle is above the 50 EMA. Or in this case would have been the 9 p.m. accumulation hour was below the 50 EMA. So that's why that's actually going to be in red. Mark out the manipulation hour with 2 vertical lines. So I marked out the 10 p.m. EST hourly candle with 2 vertical lines. And the reason why I do that is it helps me to, makes it a lot easier for me to spot that 5-minute bullish or even bearish fair value gap whenever I mark out the manipulation hour. So we're going to go here, 10 p.m., 10 to 11 p.m. EST. With 2 vertical lines. Rule 3, wait for the sell side liquidity from the accumulation hour to be swept. I did patiently wait for that 9 p.m. Okay. So over here, we wait. Let's see here. Rule 3, wait for the sell side liquidity for the accumulation hour to be swept. So it's going to be a patient waiting for the sell side liquidity from the 9 p.m. accumulation hourly candle to be swept. Then rule 4, the manipulation hourly candle must close within the accumulation hourly range, which it did. And that's what turned it into a bullish CRT setup. So look for the first 5-minute bullish fair value gap to be formed during the manipulation hour. And yes, it did form it during the manipulation hour. So as I see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that should be, I believe, 10:30. But let me check on the real thing. Okay, it's actually 10:25. 10:25. Okay, this bullish 5-minute fair value gap needs to be filled either in the manipulation or distribution hour. This one was filled during the distribution hour. So I'm going to go here. And the distribution hour it filled in is, what was it, 10? It's like 11. Yeah, it's going to be the 11 o'clock hour. So 11 p.m. distribution hour. So I'm going to write that down. Okay, target the opposing buy side liquidity from the accumulation hour, which I did, and that would have yielded a 3.8 R. Okay. Oh, shoot, that's crazy. That's the same exact one, but okay, 3.8 R. So let's move that here. Now let's kind of focus in on what I learned. So basically, the entry on 6J was solid. However, since it was a counter trend CRT setup, it unfortunately wasn't able to overpower the bearish directional bias from the 50 EMA. My emotional state, I wasn't really emotional about the trade. The only frustration is I haven't officially had a winning trade, CRT trade captured on stream. But as you can see, obviously with the trading I've done in the past, that's how I even got to this point. So it is a little frustrating that I haven't gotten a chance to capture one live, but the way I'm going to do it is any play that I'm doing, I want to be able to capture it because inevitably one will hit. So you guys can actually see that the CRT works over a long period of time. But I did get a unique insight, at least from this trade. So the primary reason why I took this counter trend trade is I believe I can capitalize solely on just the bullish momentum of the parabolic SAR. The problem is this counter trend trading is putting my money at risk because it's not an A+ setup. For my A+ setup, both the parabolic SAR and the 50 EMA need to be aligning with each other. So if it's bearish, the hourly candle needs to be below the 50 EMA and the parabolic SAR needs to be above that hourly candle. So both of them have a bearish directional bias and bearish momentum. So I'm mainly focusing now towards the end of October, just taking good A+ textbook trades, even if they win or lose, but just mainly focusing on those textbook trades because in the long run, it will work. So the last step for now is we're just going to put in the take of the photos. I'm going to go to trades. I'm going to focus on this in particular. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can take a snapshot of this. I'm going to use the snipping tool. I really like this tool because it helps me to cut out the parts that I really need so I can post it in my journal. And since this is a copy trade, I'm just basically going to copy it twice over here. And then the last part will probably be right here. So here I labeled my session time. So I took this basically during Asia session. My entry system was the gap and fill. And my profit target was the buy side liquidity zone. Over here, trade rating is technically, I would say close to at least a B. I would say at least it's a B trade in my opinion, because I feel the majority of the rules with the exception of this. So I'll just put it as at 4 stars. So stop loss. Let me look and see what that would have been. Oh, actually, if I put the profit target first, it'd make more sense. So profit target would be 66370. Okay. So we know that it's going to be 66370. So we'll go here, go to execution, go to here. So that at least is the stop loss. And over here, we have to go and put it on the bullish 1 hour CRT. I'm going to fill that up too. So we'll go here. Stop loss was that. But then take profit was supposed to be 66370. So 66370. 370. Okay, so that part is good. Then playbook, we just go through each one of these rules. And with this one, we did follow all the rules here at least. It never got past the 3.5. And it must occur in Asia or London. Close your trade position 10 minutes prior to a US red folder news event, which I didn't see any. So that was fine. That was good. And this is officially a trade that I can mark as reviewed. So I'm going to have to log the other one maybe later. But that's just kind of an idea of what I go through whenever I take each trade. So win, lose, draw, I need to record. So that way I can kind of see how my playbook is doing. So if you take a look at the bullish CRT, which has been the model that I've been using, it has over a long period of time a profit factor of 3.38. It's just at the moment right now it's kind of consolidating, and I'm going to have to tighten up on making sure each trade that I'm going with is an A+ setup. Just keeping an eye on everything just to try to see which tickers are doing well, which tickers are not doing well, and just, keeping it as tight as humanly possible. So I'll take a look at the charts again, see if there truly is another setup. If there is, awesome. If there's not, it's a-okay. We're just going to have to keep on moving forward. So there's nothing on NQ. NQ is still stuck until it takes out this consolidation zone. Same thing with ES. GC is being very annoying. Oh, GC, man, you are not being nice today. Oh, I'll put it that way. You're not being nice today with these kind of moves that it's doing. But we'll see if it gives us one more setup. If it does, great. If it doesn't give us a good setup, then that's fine. We'll move on. SI again, because like even this one right now, it's looking to be another bearish setup because again, below the 50, and then the star dots are small. So let's just see, with this one, we just have to see what happens next. It's been doing some crazy stuff today. We are approaching what would be 9:45. I'll take a look and see if I have enough capital to still be within my risk. At the moment, I don't think there is enough because then I will probably be pushing the trade a little bit. So I will have to see what happens now. Now we're going to go here. I'm going to take a look and see. So with the 8:55 candle, we'll see if there's truly an opening or not. All right, I'm going to be cautious on this one just in case it's another fake out. But we'll keep an eye on it. Okay, so that's an interesting sign. So now officially NQ's breaking out of this consolidation trap. So that's good. So we'll see if the next hour or so will form a CRT setup or if this is just going to be a continuation down. Okay, so we're taking a look at that. ES hasn't caught up yet, but it will eventually. And over here, let's just remove those drawings. We also have 6J. It's also going down as well. We'll see if it will give us a clean setup. So basically right now, I'm just taking a look to see if there's any good setups I can take advantage of before we have to close this stream. So just what I'm kind of scanning to see if there's anything that makes sense. Okay, at the moment, there's nothing. So we will have to probably end the stream soon. I will give it one more hour. Let me see how long I've been doing this for. Oh, just an hour and 24 minutes. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. So, yeah. Yep. Let's see if it presents us a good opportunity. I'm hoping after work, because usually after work, I can probably have another Asia session stream at around 10. Hopefully there's a good price action. But yeah, I was definitely, I'm not going to lie, I was definitely disappointed about this trade right here. Because it had everything going for it from a technical standpoint. It's just, I did not anticipate a huge surge in momentum. Because in my mind, I was thinking if there was no news, there shouldn't be like a huge spike all of a sudden. But it happened. So I'll just have to keep that in mind. And we just keep on moving on. Keep on moving on. I'm going to take a look at NQ. I'm trying to see if it's going to create any kind of play, because this one looks like it's wanting to sweep all this consolidation. So it might be, this is a rare one, but I haven't used this one in a long time. A London, or basically a sweep of London. So ideally what happens is this is the consolidation of London, and by it sweeping and it forms this 5-minute fair value gap, we can try to see if it will if we can target maybe a 1 to 2, ideally like around here. So this one is a little bit interesting just because I'm looking at the consolidation and I'm thinking, maybe it might go here, but this one's completely different. This is like another trading style that I used back a while back. It's essentially sweeping of the session. So I use this indicator called the Session and ICT Kill Zones by Crypto Vince, and it really marks out the Asia session, London session, and then this one would be the New York session. So with this, we're trying to see if it's sweeping London session by, when it sweeps here, we'd want it to tap here and then push up. That's kind of like the goal. I want to see if ES has a variation of that. Nope, ES does not have that version. And Q does. So let's see if it will work, because the idea is it would have to fill this gap first prior to sweeping out the high of London session. So that's like the hope, to see that we could use this as a springboard to get out of this consolidation trap, since we have a liquidity push, but we don't really know. So this is more of like a Hail Mary kind of situation. Now 5350 times 2 is about 107. So it would be a little bit above what I would have wanted to spend. So I'm going to have to reduce the entry to be slightly under. Like make it like ideally maybe like around here. And targeting, even if it's going to target the top of London, we reduce that to about here, I would be willing to try to take that entry upward. But yeah, 3650, because I don't want to push past that. So 3650 times 2 is 73. 73 times 3 is like 219. So we'll see. We'll see on this one. So let me go and kind of mark out 3 to 830 and see if there's any opportunity there. Because right now, gold, I don't know if it will give me a good setup, because it's being kind of weird today. So I have to be kind of cautious on gold at the moment. HG looks like it wants to keep going bullish. SI looks like it should be going bearish, but with this bullish candlestick, it looks like it'll probably rip through. So I just want to kind of play it safe on this one. So let me do this. I'm going to go to M and Q. We're going to mark out that time frame. So we'll say remove drawing. And then we're going to go on the hourly. Then we're going to go on the hourly. And then we're going to draw a box between 3. So from 3 to about 8:30. So let's see. So this is going to be 12 to 3 to 8:30. Then I'm going to shift to the 5-minute. And then here would be the 8:30 time slot. I'll draw my horizontal rays right here, one at the top, one at the bottom. And the idea is I would be targeting the top of this box. So here, if we're going to target the box, we need to make sure it doesn't cost us too much money. So I'm going to try to see if I can use a late entry to enter this position. So here, if I went from here to here, it would be a 2R trade, which would be perfect. It would be like a nice way to see if we could end the stream with at least a win or a dub, but it would be at 52.50. So at 52.50, I would be pushing past my set limit of 400. So it's like very important for me to be less than 400. So I'm going to have to drop it down to about 46.25. So 46.25 times 2 is 92.5. 92.5 plus the fees for it, which should be about 74 cents, I believe, on Topstep. Let's check. So MNQ, yeah, 74 cents. So I would be at least below, but that would have to be my final trade. So 92.25 plus 0.74, that'll be at 93.24, right below that 400 mark. So 93.24 equals the 0.74 for fees. Or actually, I should do it this way. Sorry, hold on. I don't want to be mumbling, so give me a second here. So 92.5 is the cost. So 92.5 is the cost. 2.5 plus 0.74 for one micro contract. So let's see if it will fill us in. The goal is it has formed this 5-minute fair value gap. I'm going to go for a slightly later entry just to see if we can tag it and push up. And I think with this one, just because we are kind of down on the day, I'm going to play more conservatively and no pushing the trade a little bit too much. So let's see what happens. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go right here, limit by 1. I'm going to put it right here. So the idea is if it hits this target right here, the play is over, because the idea is we want to sweep, enter on that fair value gap. Maybe it'll probably go and draw down a little bit because it tends to do that quite a lot. But then push up. I can also kind of reduce it just to see if we could probably hit a 3, just to kind of help with cutting down on the loss a little bit, and it'll keep the risk even lower for right now. So that would be a 3.002. So if things were to go well, $40.24 times 2. 40 points, 40.24 points times 2. That's 80. So $80.48. And then let's just say times 3, that would be like about 241 to kind of shave off a good chunk of the loss ahead of time. But if it was off, then it would be by 80. And then at that time, I immediately have to lock out because I can only use 3 trades in a day. I rarely use 3. I mainly use 1s or 2s, but I'll try to see if this setup has a possibility of working. And I'm going to be following my risk parameters very tightly on this one just because we are down significantly. So I have to be careful and alert. And we'll see if there's a play. And also over here, if it hits around 11:15, I do need to kind of get ready to start to go to work. So we'll see what happens next. In the meantime, while this is cooking, I'll take a look and see what's going on with gold at the moment. I'll be right back. Okay, let's see what happens. Taking a look at the other tickers just to see if there's any good setups. Oh, hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let's see. 6J? Are you gonna play nice today? I'll keep an eye on 6J. Let's see if it'll give us any good setups. So right now, the reason why I'm looking at 6J one more time is because it has swept this candle right here, which is a 9 a.m. EST accumulation hourly candle. It has swept it, but we are still at 53 minutes. So realistically, I think it will hit this target before it can form that 5-minute fair value gap, which I would need. So this one might not be a play I can take advantage of. I am going to look at gold and I'm going to look at silver. Specifically, I'm looking at silver at the moment. So if we remove the drawings, we'll see silver has swept. Okay. We see silver has swept, and the concern now is even though it has swept, we're trying to see if it will actually close, because it has to close for me to be able to initiate a trade, and it needs to form that 5-minute fair value gap. So those are the two conditions that need to be met. I am looking at gold as well, and gold also is setting up to try to go down, but it hasn't swept the 9 a.m. candle yet. So if it doesn't sweep, we don't really have an entry based on this CRT model that I'm using. So we're going to keep taking a look, keep checking, trying to see if we get any good setup on this one. On this one, I'm anticipating maybe a fill and then a push to take out, at least bare minimum, the London session highs. And then if it really wants to go, we could kind of trail up the price. But I think for right now, depends on the situation. I think I'll be more comfortable just hitting the target and not pushing my luck today. So let's just see what happens. Okay, so just to kind of give you an idea of what this is, this box right here is marked up as the London session range from 3 to 8:30. Now, I know it varies between a lot of people. I typically use this range because I got it from an app from Crypto Vince, And his hourly ranges, the way he segments the Asia session, London session, and New York session has been very helpful in the past when I used to do a lot of session liquidity grabs. The reason why I'm really eyeing this is just because of this consolidation. So we've been consolidating for quite some time, right? So with this is a very strong hammer candle on the hourly. And what I'm betting is, hoping is probably the better word. Hoping is if it fills, it will push up at least to take out this high right here in the beginning of London session, so that we could try to get maybe like a 3.4R trade. That's the hope. But there is a possibility that it might not, work out in our favor. So we have to be aware of that situation. Now I'm taking a look. I'm looking at silver. I am a little bit hesitant on silver at the moment, but gold is looking to go down. So that's also another setup. So let me see. Let me run my numbers. Let me see if what makes sense here. Should I go for the Asia session or London session liquidity grab, which has a possibility? Or should I wait for the other setup to come in? That's the $1 million question, because I could do either one. Let me just pause on this one quick second. Just give me 1 second on that. I want to see if SI is going to form this. And let's see, one second. Just for one quick second. SIL. For one quick second. Let's see, remove the drawings. It's no guarantee, but the way gold is moving down, I do want to at least be able to take a look at this, really analyze it before I let go of this opportunity. So let's see. If I were to hypothetically take this trade, it would be a 4R. It would be 125, so it is going to be a little bit over, but it would be 490. It's a little bit of a risky play with pretty much the bet that gold would kind of keep dropping. That is going to be interesting. I feel, based on everything, I'm going to try to take a chance on this one. I know it's crazy considering I just took 2 hits, but if it's good, it would definitely be worth that trade. But if it's wrong, then I am done for the day. So, I'm trying to see if I should. Man, this is tough. Okay, let's see. Let's go open up a new window. Have that one in there. I'm going to have an SIL. If it forms that fair value gap, I really will have to try to consider it, because it is an opportunity and I know I am pushing the trade. I would be above by 20, maybe $25, but it might be worth it to take that trade. So we'll see. I need to go to the 5-minute. I want to see if it will leave that fair value gap, because that's an important aspect of the trade. If it leaves the fair value gap open, then I absolutely need to consider entering the trade. So, okay, let's put it like that. What I can do, at least, is just because it is setting. Now, the only small thing is it has everything set, but it hasn't officially set what I would consider it hasn't let me try to get my words. It didn't create that, what do you call the manipulation hour candle. So for example, right, this is up to 10 o'clock. So this 55 candle, this represents the 9 a.m. session. But because of what's going on right now with this fair value gap, I'm anticipating that it could push even lower. Now, with this, I would be risking about $125. So I would be slightly above, which I don't like. But if I am right, it can be very, lucrative to take that trade, just because it would put us in a situation where we could be able to walk out with, a decent profit. However, it all depends on gold. If gold cooperates and doesn't pull off another shenanigan of pumping up all of a sudden out of nowhere, then we might have a winning chance. But at this moment in time, it would be a risk. And if this is a loss again, I am cutting it until the next trading session, which would be in the evening, because I do not want to push my luck too much. So that's silver. I need SIL. Yeah, that would be about 115. It's not exactly the best, but it can work out in our favor. So I'm willing to take that chance on SIL. So we'll see what happens. Oops. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Let me make sure that I have moved my stop loss above. Like right there. Okay. Game time. Let's see what happens. Again, if it stops us out, it stops us out. There's nothing we can do about it. The hope is gold doesn't play games today, because if it does, we're donezo. There's nothing else we can do at that point. So technically, even on gold, it did technically create a, what do you call it? Sorry. It did technically create the bearish fair value gap, which is right here. It's small, but it's present. So the hope is it will hold this time, but oh boy, here we go. So technically risking about 100. Let's see what happens. And now we're going to target the bottom of the box. Let's see what happens. Again, in this situation, it's hands off. I'm not allowed to touch it. I have to allow price to do its thing. Obviously, based on what was happening before, there's a lot of emotion of that huge hit that I took on gold. If I could recap from my trading, I will say that the first trade I took during the Asia session, that wasn't the best thing because it was a counter trend move. Bare minimum, I should have waited. But in this case, I'm looking at gold. I'm seeing gold forming that bearish fair value gap. And I'm hoping it drops. It's bearish on this side. On silver, same situation, bearish, 50 EMA, bearish directional bias. The SAR dots, bearish momentum. So the hope is it will hold and push. So there's a risk of me losing $100, but I am willing to take that risk. So let's sit back, let's watch and see if this is going to be a winner or a loser. This is trading in real time, CRT style. Now, the only thing I will say with this particular setup is that I'm not waiting until the 55 hourly candle, the 55 minute, just because there's like a limited amount of setups that I can get in the day. And when I'm seeing this setup, I'm like, okay, there's a good chance that gold is going to push downward. And I need to be capturing that trade before it escapes. So that's why I entered immediately. I'm pushing towards this candle because the way I do it is I have to target, what do you call it here? I'm so sorry, guys. I have to target the bottom of the 9 a.m. hourly candle. So that's 55. That's 9. So it has to be the bottom of the hourly candle. So while price is doing its thing, I'm literally not allowed to touch anything at all. So we'll see if price decides to cooperate with me today or if it's going to put me through the ringer in terms of the emotions. So regardless of what happens, we entered here. Our goal is to hit the bottom of the box. So essentially, right over here, the theory or the narrative is there's a lot of buy stops over here that were accumulated during the 9 a.m. accumulation hour. Over here, you'll see that it swept. I'm pointing it like you guys could see it. This candle right here, that's going to be the 10 a.m. candle. It swept right over here. So by it sweeping, it's basically what taking out those stops in the beginning and it's like pushing the price down. So what I'm doing is I saw the 5-minute fair value gap, which is going to be right here. It went in, filled that gap because I always use the 5-minute gap and fill. And now I'm anticipating it will drop to at least this spot. When it drops, if it's successful, it would be $510 and that would turn a losing day into a winning day and would close it. If not, it would take out the 100 and then would have to close for pretty much the maximum loss of 400. So there's a fighting chance it might go down, but we don't know. We just have to allow price to do its thing. So at this stage, I'm not allowed to touch anything. I can't raise my stop loss. I can't move anything around because as soon as I do that, then I'm having to deal with the consequences of the trade. So in this case, I just have to stick to the game plan, follow my risk management, do my absolute best, and allow the trade to do its thing. Instead of allowing, my emotions to interfere. The one good thing, at least regardless of this trade, is that I followed my rules, mainly being that the hourly candle, if we take a look on the SI, so let's see, it was below the 50 EMA. And then for the bearish star dots, it was above the hourly candle. So the parabolic star shows bearish momentum. The 50 EMA shows bearish directional bias. So those are the two key things I did like about this setup. Even if it's a loser or a winner, it doesn't matter. It's at least a good A+ setup. It would be awesome if it does end up being a winner, but there's no guarantees. So, because price can do whatever it wants to do. But my job is just to, when I see the opportunity, I take it and then just like flow with it. Keep doing what I got to do. And that's mainly it. So we're just going to wait and see the final result. So we'll just keep checking, seeing what's going on. And that's it. So let's just see what happens. Okay, so I've already set my stop loss. I've already set my take profit. I'm just going to make sure that my stop loss is set in the correct spot. Again, as I can said, I'm not allowed to mess around with anything else. I just have to follow my trading plan. And yeah, so this box is good. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. Give me 1 second. I'm just kind of looking at a few things here. Yep. Join the box over here to see. Okay, I've placed it over there. Yep, I've done everything I'm supposed to do. So I need to attend to a few things, and I will be back, and then we'll be able to at least talk about the trading result. I'm just going to make sure this is on a nice screen so that way you guys can see the floating P&L, go through all the drama. For right now, I would need to take a little bit of a mental break, so that way I'm not staring at the charts too long. I got to do a few things, catch on a few things, and I'll be back. Okay? Cool. I'll be back in like a few minutes. I'm going to put this thing on mute. Okay, so I'm back. So it seems like price is pushing down, which is awesome. I just needed to hit that target. So we'll wait and see if it'll push. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Just one more tick. One more tick. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Sweep it. Sweep it. Sweep it. So it needs to take out this box right here. Let's see. Let's see. Say order filled, please. This way. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. What? It didn't. Wow, that's weird. That is weird. Okay. Hold up. Let me escape. All right, that's weird. Let me move. Let me switch because that was supposed to fill. 1 second. 1 second. Let me go here. Default. And we're going to go up here. Let's refresh real quick because that was supposed to say order filled. So I'm going to go to Sniper Gains layout. Go to the chart. Zoom out. Come on. It's supposed to say order filled. Thank you. I thought it was having a problem or something because it was supposed to say order filled. Okay, guys, that was a wild, wild ride. But we did it. We closed for a winning day. So we're going to go back. So you remember it was down, but then we took this trade on SL or SIL and it worked out. So the key thing you probably have learned from this stream is be consistent, follow your trading plan, and then keep moving forward. So I thought today I would have one of the bigger losing days of the month, but with good discipline, good risk management, we were able to turn it around. Now at this time, we're about to close the stream. Whenever I get a win, especially like this, it's time for me to lock up the account until the end of Asia's session. So I'm going to go here, set a lockout all day so I don't get tempted to keep trading because now I need to wait for the new set of price action that will appear during the Asia session. I'm so happy that it went through because this officially marks as the first successful CRT trade captured on the Sniper Gains stream. And there'll be plenty of trades to come. So, balance, our new balance is $4,259.72. If you take a look at, even in the notebook, I had started off with an initial balance of $4,056.71. So even though we took 2 hits in a row because of using good risk management and not over leveraging. Now, in this case, if it did over leverage by like maybe 20, like $20, but still keeping within that risk, we were able to secure a winning day. Now that we've won this winning day, it's time for me to simply record it, and then we're going to close stream. So let me see here. And then what I will do once I get some time is I'm going to go and start to record these trading journals and list them below each of the live streams that I publish. So that way, when you watch this stream, you can kind of see the notes that I'm using to kind of help me journal and keep improving this CRT edge. So this is the fun part. I get to put in the winning results. So we're going to go here to TradeZella. On the dashboard today, you see we took one trade. That was like on the other day before. So that was the let's see, that was the 21st. That was basically yesterday. Today, however, I took on, I think I had 2 trades. I need to record the gold trade and I need to record this SL trade. So we're going to go to add trade, Go to the funded. Now I'm going to actually go and do the journal entry later just because of time, and I do need to start to get ready to go to work at some point. But at least I'm going to put in the at least trading log because I like to do this manually. So here we go. Now we're going to go to trades. Today was the 22nd. So we'll see we need to record these two trades. So we'll start off with the losing trade, which was the MGC short. So we're going to go and let me delete all these other stuff because we don't need it. I'm going to take that out. So with this one, MGC, when you go to TradeZella, you're going to go, actually, let me kind of show you this. You have the ability to add new accounts. So I have like my Robinhood, Webull, Schwab, but then I have my Topstep funded and my evaluation account. So I'm going to put it in my Topstep funded account. So I'm going to click add trade. Now, because we're copy trading, we're going to log it a little bit differently. So when I go here, so you will see in terms of quantity, because on this copy trade 1, the MGC was 2, right? So because the MGC was 2, it'll actually be 4. And then you'll see why. Because when you copy trade, it will replicate the same amount. So we'll go here. Then we're going to go here again. So it will be 4 contracts was used in total. So we'll go to quantity 4. Since it was a short, so we're going to say sell and buy to close. And then for the fees, it will be double. So in this case, the fee amount on MGC was $248. So it would be 248 times 2. That's going to be $4.96. $4.96. So we go here, $4.96. And then now it's time to put in the price. So the cool thing about Project X is you can go in and just literally copy and paste the price. So we're going to go there, paste, and then go here, paste the exit. Oops, I think I'm doing it wrong. Copy that. And then copy this one. Okay. Quantity 4, time and date. This would be the 22nd on both. And then we're going to look at the time. So that way we know what time we place the trade. Why am I on stock? That's weird. All right. Yeah, that kind of messed it up. 1 second. Let me go back. Let me go to funded again, because that's going to throw off the multiplier. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, it's supposed to say 10, 4 contracts, sell, buy, because it was a short. The fees are going to be $4.96 in total. When you combine the fees on both copy traded accounts. Now for the price, we're going to go back. This is the entry price. And then this one is the exit price. Expiration date, I always just pick the end of the month. I know it has its own specific one, but it doesn't really matter for the logging of this trade. For right now, the main thing that matters are these other sections. So we're going to click 22nd. And then we are going to go to the time. So it was 080010. So, okay, 080010. Okay. That should be at the top, 080010. Then at the bottom, we're going to write 080035. 0035. Basically, it took me out in like less than 30 seconds. That was a crazy, crazy move. So we're going to save the trade. And it'll show that the complete total loss on both accounts combined was $392.96. So that would go on the bearish 1 hour CRT. So at least we have that set. So if you look at the dashboard now, you'd see this as a loss for the week. But the good news is we did get a winning trade today. So we're going to go and add that. And we're going to go to funded. And then on funded, same thing. We're going to type in SIL, which is the micro silver. With this one, we only used one contract on both. So it'll be 2, 2. And the reason why it's 2 is because we used one here and we copy trading 2 accounts. So in total, it's 2. The fees, same thing. It's going to be, I believe, 408. So 408. So we go here. 408. Okay. Now we go here. We go here. This we have to switch from a sell and buy because we are shorting. So we start off as a selling position and then we buy to close the position. Now price is going to be 48,165. And then the exit price is going to be 47,660. Then over here, 22nd, 22nd. And this time, we're going to put in the time. So it's 0918, 091825. So 0918, and then 25. And then over here, it's going to be 094337. 094337. Okay. So this will show the total amount of money that we made on both accounts. So here we go. So we made a total of $1,005.92. That's the power of copy trading. But let's just see in total for the day, we still walked out with $613. Even though we had a 50% win rate specifically for the day, but we had a good profit factor. That's the power of good risk management. So we are up by, I've made about $5,380 so far, only using 2 XFA accounts. And my goal is to, when it gets to around Friday, to take a payout, ideally of $1,000 each. But for that to happen, my balance needs to be about 5,000 minimum, because I always like to keep a balance of at least 4,000 on each account that I have. So this was a successful trading day, which is awesome. I look forward to the next session. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comment box below. And that wraps up the stream. Peace.